What's good, family? Peace, love, prosperity. It's Exceed Thought back with another video. This video is gonna be a little bit everywhere when it comes to the movie we're gonna be talking about, Barnyard. So I'm gonna be going to the beginning, to the middle, to the end, to the beginning, whatever, so forth. You know what I'm saying? Because I wrote down all these notes right here. 11 ways of exposed occultism on Barnyard. If you don't know Barnyard is basically this movie about Otis and his dad. And his dad is the bull. The dad is basically the one who keeps the farm in check. He at the beginning of the movie, he's the one who holds the meeting for all the farm animals, and he's basically talking about it's coyote season. We need to be careful. Y'all need to be watching your back, stay in groups, things like that, right? And the main character, Otis, I forgot his name, but the bull is that. He's out goofing around with his friends, a pig, a ferret, and a chicken. It's a rooster. And they're basically, at the beginning, they're basically sliding down this mountain, surfing, which I took into, let me find this main idea because I wrote this down. Where that? So the beginning of the movie represents the Caucasus Mountains, and the descension of consciousness. So basically, when I was thinking of this after the fact, when I watched the movie, the mountain, it was a mountain. It was a grass mountain. It wasn't ice caps mountains, but it could be portrayed as that as well. That's just how I see it through how everything was just going. And they were sliding down the mountain like this, basically, right? And then they started surfing, doing their thing. And that's how I just seen it, because it was showing the did you hear that? I don't know what that sound was. What the fuck? It was basically just showing the two sides of consciousness, and where his dad was that leader, the spiritual guide, the teacher, while the son was basically, what's the word I'm looking for? The son was basically was like a child's mindset, but not in the sense of like a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a teenager, right? You're trying to have fun, and that's understandable because you're a kid. You should be a kid, but I don't know how old Otis was, so yeah. anyways, he seemed like he was about that age, and he was when his dad passed away. But that's a spoiler. But I mean, come on. And also at the beginning too, I think I have 2 more main ideas about the beginning, so I'm going to try to keep it in order as much as I can, but it's gonna kind of just be everywhere. So beginning of the movie begins with the sky. And if you know about the sky, you know about God is Satan, Satan is Lucifer, Satan is, what the fuck? She like, yeah, you tripping. Wait, no. I'm getting ahead of my thoughts, but basically, God is Satan, Satan is God, right? So, stop it. We gotta make it to this video. All right, so it starts out in outer space with the stars in the background, the false light, stars representing how I seen it, the Hollywood stars, the actors, the Freemasons, you know what I'm saying? And just that whole false inverted programming. And then from the outer space, it goes down into the clouds in the sky, and that's when you get the representation or the worship of Satan, in the sense that in Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, he talks about they talk about how Lucifer is the light bearer, God of the sky, or God of the air. I think it says God of the air in the Satanic Bible. And I need to read more up on that. I need to do more research on that. That's on me. But yeah, I talked about the stars. So then getting into where the farmer leaves the farm and he's driving off, and the sheep are like checking out and making sure like everything's good, like he left. That shows basically how life as it's portrayed is a script programmed to society, or allowed to be programmed. Society allows themselves to be programmed because they love chaos, in the sense that they can't sit with themselves. So they have to fill themselves up with false illusions. You know what I'm saying? NBA, NFL, Popeyes, things like that, right? Things that give you that instant gratification, because you can't sit with yourself. You can't sit with yourself and build for what you want to be tomorrow or next year or 10 years. And you're not able to envision that version of yourself, right? Because you have this hole within your spirit. And I had said that is how life is a stage or a Masonic theater. So when it comes to terrorist attacks, when it comes to live news, I believe live news, it's how they put it on the live news or breaking news. Live backwards is evil, and there was another word to putting it backwards meant something else, and I'm just not remembering right now. I should have wrote it down, but what can I do? I'm already making the video. But that's basically Masonic theater, because from what I have seen, people have it's so easy to manipulate false narratives through the news, because that's just what my spirit tells me through common sense. Because news in itself is made in a way to not only stress you out, but make you worry about things that aren't even going on within your observation. So social media as well. Okay, so next. Any other beginnings? That's it for that. Something I noticed as well, a lot of the humans, or majority of the humans, because I don't remember seeing a human without a big nose. And, big nose is big. I'm getting ahead of myself, and she's distracting me. But big noses represent Jewish people. And when you look into owners of business corporations and things like that, you see a lot of gatekeepers that are Jewish. And with Jewish going into, at least from what I know so far into my research, because I'm so sorry about that, don't mind her. As far as into my research, that is just what I have seen. And going into Judaism, sucking the blood from babies' penises, and just all those rituals, sex slaves, things like that, it's really nah, bro. Shit is disgusting. Okay. So this was something that I had observed, and I wrote down, why did the animals have to knock the farmer out? So this is when Otis's dad had transcended or passed on, and Otis was now the new leader of the farm, and he was there to guide everyone into, I wasn't gonna say betterment for themselves, but guiding everyone into a safe environment. I'll put it like that. And so basically they were having a party in the middle of the day, and the horse was telling Otis, yo, that's not a good idea. I'm pretty sure that's not a good idea to do that, because, or someone was, maybe it wasn't the horse, but whatever, right? They were letting Otis know, but then Otis was like, who cares? Let's party, right? So the farmer actually ends up coming to the barn and opening the door, and he sees what's going on. He sees Otis dancing right up there, right up in the middle, and all the animals are looking, and like everyone goes silent, but Otis is still dancing. Then that's when the horse knocks out the farmer. So I wrote down, what happens when you enter occultic realms? Secret meeting, lodge, barnhouse, not much of a difference. And that was just my observation, because a lodge and a barnhouse are both made out of wood and stone. I don't know too many barns that are made out of stone, but I'm just saying, I'm just being open-minded to that. But if you walk into a secret meeting, if you walk into somewhere you're not supposed to be at, what's going to happen to you? Right? Are you going to remember that? Are they going to let you out alive? You don't know, right? That's just how I see that. So why did they have to knock the farmer out? Why couldn't they just... I mean, I understand too in the movie sense, but I just feel like there was some meaning behind that. Let's see what else. So, humifying animals and cannibalism. So there was this pig in the movie, and he was one of Otis's friends. And there was actually a few moments, but the one that stands out to me the most was when he said that I actually like the smell of bacon, and he said something else, but that was wild. And two, when the mouse, one of Otis's friends, he was like portrayed to be Mexican, he was jumping on the pig and the cow, and he was naming like different meats from pork and beef, right? So we're humifying these animals, right? We're basically giving them personalities. We're giving them this, like, I like the word humifying because it's giving them that mindset. But at the same time, oh, hold on, my light is still on. I'm confused on why my light is still on. There must be a door open. Anyways, let's continue. My bad. But we're humifying these animals, yet it's still normalized to eat that. So what are you eating? Relax. We'll be done in a little bit, all right? What are you actually eating? And that's when you go down the rabbit hole of fast food and beings eating, or society eating not only lab-grown meat, but humans in that meat as well. And you can't, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but after that one KFC commercial, and let me pause it real quick because my feet are fucking falling asleep. Hold up. There we go. But you can't tell me. You just can't. My spirit knows. In grocery store meats and all that stuff, there's humans in it. And going down the rabbit hole of Pizzagate, I mean, not recently, but I understand the symbolisms behind pedophilia. So the spiral, the triangle, there's a few other ones as well. But then I seen this post maybe a month ago or something about Justin Bieber, and he put a pizza symbol on his kid, and I believe the kid was wearing, it was another photo, but the kid was wearing a spiral on the shirt, and I believe it was checkerboard pants. Ayo. But like, come on, man. You know what they're doing to their kids, bro, because it happened to them first. For you to be normalized into doing sexual acts with kids and who knows what else, I mean, whatever you can imagine has happened. And I wouldn't put it past it, right? Just being open-minded. Where was I? Okay, so Saturn's hex on mindset, black cube. So yeah, this was talking about humifying animals. but I'm trying to remember how this correlated, but I'm sure you see it. Damn. Saturn's hex on mindset. So Saturn's hex basically being the black cube. Okay, so here you go. Saturn's hex is basically a programming to make you believe that you are a human from, I'm getting way too close, from humans, or not from humans, but from Saturnalian cults. So the thing with that is the black cube. So we get into Saturn, and I'm getting ahead of my thoughts, bro. Let me just slow down. Black cube representing so the cross represents the black cube of Saturn unfolded, and that's when you get a squaring the circle of consciousness, right? So we're basically not weird, but these producers, this Masonic theater, this Masonic movie, because when you go into the movie theaters, you see checkerboard, you see you see what it is about. And so these producers producing this movie are basically putting this Saturn's hex on you if you're looking at it with entertainment value, if you're looking at this movie like, I want to get a good laugh at this, right? And not saying you can't, but are you also looking at the symbolism behind it? Are you also using common sense? Are you also actually observing what you're watching, right? If you're not, then you're being programmed to have this hex on you by looking at this animal. And I don't know, that's just so weird to me, humifying the animals, but yet you're still going to eat the animals that you are building this connection with. It's just wild to me. That's why I don't eat meat. I sometimes will eat shrimp and fish, but as of lately, I haven't been doing that. I've really just been fasting. I've been doing my thing. I've just been trying to heal, just trying to be better. What else do I got? Programming beings into an inverted mindset. Ball worship. So they even showed the animals watching football through behind a window into someone's house. So just through that's ball worship, right? Football, basketball. That's all I can think of right now. But Baal is this entity or this epitome of Satan or Lucifer that it was the Knights Templar that worshipped. I may be wrong on that, but just from what I've researched, that's what I remember right now. If I'm wrong, call me out on it. I'm just trying to be better. Let's see, what else do I got? Lady saying she is medicated for a chemical imbalance. So this was when Otis and the 3 other cows, the Jersey boys, or the Jersey cows, I don't know what they were called, they had snuck out to get revenge on the kid for cow tipping. No, that wasn't it. But maybe it was. I'm forgetting, but they went to go tip their car basically. Oh no, I'm mistaken. My bad. They went to go steal the family's car. They went to go steal the family's car, and what did I write? Okay, lady saying she's medicated for a chemical imbalance. You don't have to be medicated for a chemical imbalance. It's what you're eating and what supplements you're taking. Right, so I've been taking magnesium, I've been taking iron, I've been taking lion's mane. I want to add fish oil into that as well, but I don't have it right now. But what I've learned actually through my own experience, I used to take antidepressants, And this was when I was a teenager. And I understood to a certain point that school just wasn't for me. I actually ended up graduating early from school because I went to a charter school in my second year of high school. I almost said college. Second year of high school, and I graduated early. But that's besides the point. When you take these medications, they numb you spiritually. And I understand that because when I would take those antidepressants, I would feel nothing. Not to say that I couldn't laugh, not to say that I couldn't have fun, but when it came to expressing myself in a way that released energy through crying or through just things like that, it blocked that. So where that's something I struggled with up until recently. I struggled with allowing myself to let go of these emotions. Not only because of that, but because of childhood trauma that I had within just my mom and my dad. But yeah, I mean, and next we have, it was the scene after that. Man calling his partner crazy is an example of an Agent Smith or someone programmed to protect the system or simulation or matrix or whatever you want to call it. And this was the scene right after that, I believe. I was trying to help her out, but you're gonna see her moving around, so don't mind that. But this was the scene right after that. And so this was about her seeing the cow cross behind the window, and he was saying how cow, he said it, I don't know, he said it was like a country accent, but you say cows don't come near the house, they like to graze, they like to be out in the meadow. So he was, sorry, I'm trying to think, but he was, let me read it one more time because I want to say this correctly. Not that, I just want to express my thoughts to a point that I am satisfied with, but he basically didn't believe his partner from what he was programmed into believing. He was programmed into believing that cows only go grazing in the meadows. He was programmed to deny anything that was opposed to that idea. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's like saying politics, sports, social media are all a psyop into making you believe you're human and harvesting your energy. People programmed into the system will be like, you're crazy, you're ignorant, you're dumb, I don't want to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Go work this job. Nothing wrong with working a job. Go work this job. Stop working on your passions. Do what you're told. That's what this, I don't know if it was a farmer. Maybe it was. It looked like a farmer. But that's what this man, the husband to the wife, was portraying. And that was 11 main ideas. Let me make sure I read everything because I don't want to leave anything behind. That was it. And so I hope you really got something from this video. I am just thankful for you watching, and I appreciate you giving your time. Even if you watched 10 seconds of my video, you know, thank you. And I'm grateful. To what I understood, oh, she was just chilling. What I understood about having gratitude is allowing the gratitude to fill yourself up instead of I mean, how can I explain that? Just having the feeling that your spirit is fulfilled, having the feeling, not the feeling, but having the knowing that your spirit is being fulfilled through your actions is a definite way to be grateful throughout your experience, throughout the experience that you observe. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. There's more to come. I have a video coming tomorrow, and it's going to be about I have about 5 video ideas that I want to post, but they'll come as they please. Or they'll come. No, that's not what I meant. But they will come as I dive into those topics, because I want to be fluent within what I am sharing with you. I don't want to just go off the dome all the time. I want to have written main ideas and all that. But thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I'm gone. Thank you.